Continuing our Storm 5 team coverage this morning, we're getting reports of some major flooding in the North Nashville area.
Yeah, Chris Conti joins us live now from Ewingdale Drive. And Chris, you were pointing out a little earlier that creek behind you was over the roadway earlier this morning.
Yeah, Steve, that creek is still actually over part of the roadway up here, and we want to show you the problems that they are seeing up here. See that car down there about 50 yards from where we're standing on Ewingdale Drive? That car at one point was in the middle of this intersection over here. The floodwaters were so fierce and so powerful that they actually took that car, lifted it up off of the roadway, and pushed it all the way down there into the neighborhood. A couple of people were inside. We're told that they had to be rescued by OEM, but the good news is that they are okay. This is just a perfect example of why they say that you need to turn around if you see flooded waters across a roadway. It may look like just a couple of inches, but there is no telling how deep the water could be and how powerful it could be. Obviously, in this case, the waters were strong enough to move an entire car. The other thing that we want to bring your attention to is up to the north side of Gwendale Drive over here. At the corner of these two roads where they intersect, there's a home. We're told that there was an elderly woman who was inside. There were some concerns that she was actually trapped. Some family members tell us that she is doing okay. At first, they thought they were going to maybe bring in one of the rescue boats, but the floodwaters did go down here about as quickly as they came up. You can see that there's still a lot of first responders here on the scene. There is still some water going across the roadway here, and so officials have been kind of guiding people across the roadway to make sure that they're safe. It has gone down to a degree here to where they think it's okay for people to be crossing the roads. But again, a perfect example of why you should turn around if you see floodwaters. We can take you for a little bit of a walk over here and show you what's causing some of the problems. As you can see, first responders are kind of directing traffic out here in North Nashville. The issue that we have been seeing is being caused by Ewing Creek. Ewing Creek during the summer is usually nothing more than a trickle, but it is basically the opposite of that right now. It is coming up to the point where it has overflowed its banks and has swollen into this neighborhood. There is a lot of debris that's been coming down with this creek. Usually this is not much to look at, but today it is a much different story because of the rains that have been relentlessly pounding the mid-states since late last night. Again, the good news though here in North Nashville is that no one was hurt. If you see floodwaters, just some great examples up here, unfortunately, of why you should be turning around for safety's sake. That is the latest from North Nashville this morning. Chris Conti, News Channel 5. Guys, back to you.
All right, yeah. Chris, we appreciate it, and thanks for coming in early for us. You and Mike Rose, the photojournalist, with you there. Well, the heavy rains have triggered flash flooding all over the mid-state.
Yeah, Chris, up on Ewingdale Drive in North Nashville. Kimberly Davis is up the road a piece. And Kimberly, I know you've been all over Sumner County this morning, and Beth Page and you actually were driving live, and we saw it when you came across a flooded roadway and just had to stop dead still, right?
That's right, Steve and Amy. Good morning. We saw the flooded roadway as soon as you did. We pumped the brakes so we didn't drive through it. That's all the way down there. We are on Alexander Lane, and a vehicle actually decided, maybe I'll drive through it. And then about halfway through that deep water, that driver decided it wasn't a good idea and to back up and turn around. And that's what we have been stressing all morning long. If you see a pond of water on the roadway, standing water, do not try to drive through it, no matter how shallow that water looks. It's just not a good idea. And we have found the root to the problem. Take a look at this creek. We weren't sure if it was a creek or a river because this water is raging. It is just so strong, and this water has leaked over into that field, which has caused the problem on that roadway. Now, that has been an issue all morning long, as well as the evening. Flash flooding warnings. We have been receiving the alerts on our cell phones all morning long about warnings about the flash flooding. As you can see, there are logs floating through this water, pieces of large branches. That's just how strong this water is. Now, the rain has slowed down here in Sumner County, but there is still lightning, and it's going on and off throughout the morning since we've been here. So we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning on the situation here. But for now, we're going to continue our storm coverage and send things over to Dan Kennedy, who is live in Montgomery County this morning. Dan, how are things looking over there?
All right, appreciate it, Kim. Just listening to you and Chris talk, it sounds like the worst of everything has moved southeast of where we're located in Clarksville this morning, but it was a different story hours ago. This place was getting hammered with rain. National Weather Service says about 4.7 inches of rain, and for a while, this road, Eva Drive, was covered. In fact, 2 police officers had this blocked off for hours this morning, and they just left about 30 minutes ago. You see there's still some ponding going on in some of the ditches. That's going to be a common theme throughout part of Middle Tennessee today, certainly here in Clarksville, where they got hit hard this morning with rain and thunderstorms, though it has subsided quite a bit. We haven't seen rain or thunder or seen any lightning nearby in the past 30 minutes or so. So that's the good news from Clarksville. Earlier this morning, there was several streets that were blocked off due to flooding. 2 cars that we know of with people inside tried to pass through the waters. Those people had to be rescued by the Clarksville Fire Department. We're told they're okay, according to the Clarksville Police Department's Facebook page, which you can stay updated on throughout the day should they continue to update you on some of these flooded streets. Reporting live this morning in Clarksville with photographer Jordan Powell, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. And the weather also creating some problems in a different way, not just on the roadways, but up in Sumner County. It was a house fire in Millersville on Mansker Drive that they were dealing with this morning. Luckily, no one was hurt, but firefighters believe lightning may have been to blame on the start of that fire. As soon as we can get that confirmed, we'll pass that along to you.
And Steve, more breaking news right now. A massive fire has destroyed this historic building in downtown Hopkinsville. Firefighters were battling the flames for hours. It's called the Peter Postel Building at the corner of East 6th and South Virginia Streets, named after its original owner. Local police called the fire in, and it was fully involved by the time the firefighters got there around 10 last night. Firefighters decided not to enter the building because it was so intense. Instead, they focused on keeping the buildings around it. There's several buildings next door that could be affected. The weather didn't help either. Lightning kept them from putting up their ladders on the trucks, and it also hindered them from, from getting into the building. Again, they did not do that. This is the only building damaged in the large fire. The building was currently vacant.